elections 2018, specifically the gubernatorial elections and state of House of Assembly elections here. And I still have my very energetic panelists, guest friends here with me. And for my farthest left, I still have Modupe, Ayokule, Chidi, Adedayo, Bukola, Baladale, and Isabella. And a lot of things have happened from the time we took a break and we're back now. So we'll be running through these things from different states. And I think we'll start with Baladale. He has so much about information coming from Ogun State. But before then, remember you could be a part of it by calling us on 014544388. That is 014544388. And on Twitter, the handle at YNaija with the hashtag Nigeria Decides. So please let us make it participatory and interactive as well. What's happening in Ogun State?
Yeah, thank you. The news from Ogun State, we had lots of voters apathy. Most turnout has not been commendable at all. And in the constituencies where we had a certain number of voters from that last election, but this time around, like in the GRA Barra in Abeokuta, the last election we witnessed 168 people voting. This time around, we only have 99 people getting accredited. And then the election has stopped now. It's past one. It's past one again. There were a case of violence in Wasimi local government, DPO Batali, and his officer were beating blue black, and then the ballot papers hijacked. I think that is still under investigation also. And then it also had the polling booth 7 booksellers were one in the China level. Ghetto student was caught with fake PVC, and they had to back to the police also. So apart from that, the case has been peaceful a bit in Ogun State. Majorly the turnout is very disappointing, but it has been peaceful a bit.
Yeah, in Kaduna, another very peculiar case. That was one of the hotly contested northern states during the presidential election. Incumbents versus incumbent Motayo from PDP versus Nasiru El-Rufai from APC. Accreditation went peacefully mostly. Again, low voters turnout. People don't seem to have any incentive to want to come out and engage this particular election. Voting started at about 1 p.m. in Kaduna, and hopefully that gets concluded at the 5 p.m. Time, and hopefully it goes as peaceful as it has been. A few cases of party people on both sides of the divide trying to hijack the process. A particular local government reported one local government party chairman hijacking ballot boxes. There's a video from somewhere else in Kaduna where electoral officers are not allowing people to cast their vote by themselves. They are collecting the ballot papers from voters' house. They thumbprints, and there are concerns they might tamper with those papers before putting them in the ballot boxes. Generally, just the low voters turnout being experienced across the nation.
Okay, any other question?
Yeah, I can say an update from Rivers. Our correspondent there said at a particular center in territory, all seem to be going on well until APC agents told him since last during the he couldn't recognize who was stabbing. So it was one to stay clear of the polling, and he has been working outside the polling unit since then. They are refused to go inside. And I think the slap from other guys have been drinking already.
I know. We'll get to origin. Any other states? Any other? Okay. So we have spoken earlier about, we shared with us about pictures on social media about specific candidates and the pictures being affected and voting. And same can be said of the PDP candidate for Lagos State, Mr. Jimmy Agbaje. I'm sure voting will be ongoing at his polling unit in Apapa, Randall Crescent. And he called for peace as voters cast their lots. And also asked them to decide who will be the next governor of the Center of Excellence for the next 4 years. Of course, this call comes amidst reports of disturbances at some polling units. At the start of the exercise, the INEC staff announced that 1,200 people were registered at this unit, while 188 people were accredited. And this is less than 204 registered voters recorded at the same polling unit during the March 28th elections. There's a picture, there's a story, a report about bottle. Is that what you shared? Bottle.
Because it's such a, the thing is, one of the narratives that we were trying to avoid of this election was narrative of violence and instances of violence. And they said that the violence rate mostly is the norm. Well, guess where all the violence is? Meanwhile, big drop.
Nothing.
Serious going, they are coming back.
Yeah.
Now, how about that for a narrative? So and again, in a place like River, these kind of problems are because of just a general culture of violence. During the ODI administration, for example, a lot of these thoughts and these forces were empowered, and so it has now come back now to bite. There's a problem. So you have them, they're roaming about. So suppressing all these people, putting them either to legitimate labor or locking them up so that they don't begin to disturb it. Now, look at what we have. Violence here and there, violence here and there. In fact, one of the data that was even on, he passed a peaceful polling units. And you have to lose that this polling unit is peaceful.
It's not enough.
As in, what is really going on? So we can have this. Somebody now has result sheets and things like that. And in fact, I don't even know what's going on in the past. It's all upside down.
Okay, so the Independent National Electoral Commission has denied reports of fake electoral materials in Rivers State, and the statement was signed by the National Commissioner in charge of Cross River and Rivers State, and has urged members of the public to disregard any of such reports making around about the spread of fake electoral materials. So, like we know, elections is going down in 29 states of the Federation. We're going to take a look. There are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 states where incumbent governors are applying for re-elections. And the states they are Borno, Gombe State, Imo State, Kaduna State, Kwara State, Nasarawa State, Ogun State, Oyo State, Yobe, and Kwara State. Now, what are the chances that these governors going for re-election will win? And the possibility of having new governors in most of the states now, the likelihood, and there are few states that are very hot.
There is no new governor coming to the state. If there's any state that I am, state, Sia is going to win. If people say it's going to win. And on the 28th of March, the APC in that state put the SDP to shame. You see that party, that SDP no go take. People understand. When this pull me down syndrome is a very bad thing, and that's what happened in that state. Osoba and his people, they left the APC, believing that they could pull Amosu down. I grew up in Ogun State, so I stayed there for a long.
The schools in Ogun State.
Maybe No, I grew up there. So I know quite a bit about the state. Oshoba's first expedition to the government house, nothing. Nobody can remember anything, but it was shortly.
Oh yes, thank you for saying that. So in this round, when you're not supposed to talk, you see this. And it's quiet, you don't know how to speak. If you fail to, you know the consequences.
We need more for applause. No, but really, so the first, I'm not talking about 1999 to 2003. I'm talking about the first time he became governor. But that was a short thing. So the people of Ogun State didn't know who Oshoba was. They brought him back again in 1999, and my mom was the principal there. You know what Oshoba was doing? Development in Ogun State. They paint white stones and they line up the streets of Ogun State. That's the beautification that Oshoba was doing. They will paint stones white, and that was the development. It doesn't pay. You won't pay civil servants on time. It was just doing anyhow. It was voted out. And okay, Daniel came in, and we know how the story went. Now, Amosu became governor because just like General Buhari, his tenacity spoke for him. Eventually, he was the people's choice. Very commendable for him.
And his dedication.
No, seriously. And his dedication to and commitment to the goal and his task. Eventually, he got there and really I've seen some things in Ogun State, and I think Ogun State is where it was. I'll tell you, first thing, I will tell you like in Ijebode, there's when you are going towards Oyo State, but the last major junction, usually there's a funny turning there. It causes a lot of accidents because people don't understand how to turn in that place except if you live there. Now the guy has built a bridge and he has expanded the lane from that place, that Lagos, I think they call that place Lagos, down to Gubernatorial. If you know where that is. Chill now, calm down. No, this is part of these are one of the things we're talking about. In Shagamu, the same thing. In Abeokuta, the same thing. There is no area of the state that are not seeing something, a major project going on by the Amusu administration. You understand? Everywhere in the state, you see. Now you say because he is not probably playing ball according to your bidding and everything, you want to now destroy what the guy is doing. When you were there, you did not do anything. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. In fact,
so in your opinion, what you guys say that the nuts of the PD?
Make that Nasir good. Say this guy guy, he's going to come a close second. He's going to come a close second. But my own grievance is against the SDP in Ogun State, but I'm also has done well. I think it should be returned. No issues.
See, it is very, very sad.
I want to commend Bola for having yesterday. Can I talk about? Thank you.
It is very, very sad that my brother here can take a partisan look and issue. You see, I'm very disturbed. And this is very personal, very, very, very personal.
Yeah.
You don't bring up the issue of Ogun State, where I grew up, where I went to school, where my parents live, and you start throwing up information that are absolute fraud. You see, it is preposterous. The government of Ibikunle Amosu, SY Senator, is one of the most disastrous administration in the history of the state. And I have my first proof. When Senator Ibikunle Amosu came into power, all of his manifestos were about health reform, were about education, were about roads. Those are agriculture. On the issue of health, our health centers are in a abysmal failure state of abysmal failure. That I can categorically tell you, and that statement was made by the chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association, the state chapter. He can really said it. It was in the federal newspaper that the state legislature is their business failure. And I, as an individual with my group, went for a visibility study in the state on health. I can give you the pictures, I have it. In the Peru General Hospital, in Jekuli General Hospital, in Ota General Hospital, in Abeokuta General Hospitals, there are solid cases. That's one. Secondly, on the issue of education, I'm surprised because the same administration that came in and made lots of public institutions, but in its own selfish interest, felt that what it needed to do was to establish model schools. Why? One, the public schools were never taken care of. It came in with a phantom of what they call free books, free textbooks to this secondary school. Free textbooks that one that this students are just few of students have access to it. Secondly, also you can the books are actually in short supply and only given to the schools. Are you telling me that the guy that a student that needs to do assignments will now food? How will the student that needs to do assignments take the book home? Most parents have to buy this textbook personally. And again, they said it's doing free education. Fine. Education in the state, as far as they are concerned, is €0. But that's just for tuition fee. But the supplement fees also amounts to €1,500 for secondary school. Why the PTO for is €1,700? I'm still coming. That's based on education. And education in Ogun State, why the still building, he said he's going to build model school. Those buildings have been under construction for over a year now, and none is ready. None is ready. He promised in September that they are going to be ready September 31st. No. He said they were going to be ready in October. No. He said they were going to be ready in November. No. Now he's unable to say anything about it. Now you talk about construction. I'm really annoyed because when you talk about construction, you talk about Shagam. I was in Shagam last week. It's not the Shagam project. It's from the expressway to the cement junction. And I can tell you that project has been on for 2 years and they have not completed it. And that project was awarded at the tune of 15 billion naira. And that project is just 5 kilometers. I'm coming. The new Shagam road is 27 kilometers. It was awarded by the administration. It was not completed. Now, that Shagam was awarded for 1.2 billion. When this guy came, I wanted that road for 9 billion naira. That 9 billion naira is the only store that you know. And if you know that area, I don't know if, but if you know that area, you know the road is just out of the road. And that's even out. That's another. They want to rent the road. They are already completed between Elisha to Agogo. That will consist of 3 bridges. President has done the 3 bridges. And if you know well about construction, you know that bridges are, my brother is an engineer. You know that building bridges, especially on waters, are one of the most very hard to construct and it's capital intensive. But these are things that have already been done. And I'm surprised when you think about the issue of the road. From Lagos Ghana, you're talking about the Ondo road to Lagos Ghana from the mobile road for expressway. You don't pick up this issue. Because expressway was done fine. It was correct the current administration. When this guy came, he said he wanted to build an overhead bridge, just 2. That overhead has been under construction that will be open. One from one is still not open till now, and the one from the road also those that have been open, there's always fun and go. And I've not even completed this. How come you know? No, see, let's understand. I'm really should go back to the election. Wait. See, let's not think about issues that we don't know about. Let's try to educate them. When we talk about issue of Ogun State on its own, when I tell you Amosu is running a vindictive government that lacks vision and doesn't know what he's doing. And that's not that case. Now we talk about the election. I'm surprised because I don't know why you think Ogun State, which is predominantly a civil servant state, when the boyfriend is civil servant, is not taken care of. So I'm always going on strike. Just last week, the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees went on strike. Just last month, all private school and secondary school negotiation shut down. Just 2 months ago, all civil servants in public sectors in Ogun State also went on strike. Until now, for a government that for 4 years has refused to pay their allowances, they need allowances, they 13 bonus, and they I'm coming now. The deduction has not been remitted. The deduction and what they call this now, the deduction they make every deduction salary has not been remitted. The pension has not been remitted to the account, the pension account. And they went on strike on it. Everybody in Ogun State knows that civil servants in Ogun State are against the government. That is what. Secondly, Ogun State is made up of 3 senatorial districts. The Ogun West, the Ogun Central, and the Ogun East. I'm from Ogun East. The Ogun West is where the Social is from, the PDP. And the Ogun Central is where the Oshobas and Amosu is from. If you tell me the Oshobas and Amosu is going to win, if you tell me Amosu is going to win from Ogun Central, I know, because most of the projects has done Ogun State. So that's really has been concentrated in Ogun Central. So that's why you see the rest of Global Solution coming out to openly to tell you, okay, that there's no problem, that they have no issues with administration. But people of Ogun East have been shortchanged. They are going to raise eyebrow. And everybody knows that in Ogun East, we have 10 local government in Ogun East. The many local government are shaped by people from Ogun Central and Ogun West. Now, you're telling me that 10 local government also, where I'm coming from. I told you passing. No, I told you passing. I told you from Ogun West has 4 local governments in Ogun West. Don't last special election. We are analyzing. Then the last presidential election, Ogun East overwhelmingly supported the Gubernatorial of PDP. 8 local governments of 10 supported him. We only lost Odubolu and Iwode. I'm coming.
Yes, and we.
Yes, we. I'm concerned because it's my conspiracy.
No,
I said we only lost. No, we only lost. My consensus will be lost. Don't put your party only lost. I said we only lost. As someone from Ogun East, my consensus lost Ijebu-Ode and Odubolu based on the sentiment of General Muhammadu Buhari and the word they may call for local government. Now this time around, the government's candidate is from Ogun West, looking for local government. Let's believe that it's only able to do 2 local government from that area. And we also, from what I've seen, I was on a road trip last week for political enlightenment in Ogun State, and I can confidently 9 of 10 local government to deliver. Now plus 2 in Yewa, that's around 11, and Ogun State only has 20 local governments. How is the government going to put that straight? Now I tell you, Ogun State election is doing it's doing very close, and it's not something you can call. You can't tell me someone. You can't tell me and the people that are going to win the win.
I didn't say so.
I can tell you, Ogun State election is as close in the contested as Lagos.
The surprising thing, the surprising thing here is you've managed to tell us Ibekule Amosun is a bad product. But you not even for once mentioned the credentials of who is contesting again.
I'm not just
but what if the people feel is still better than the PDP candidate? His name is Boyega Isiaka, by the way, and I am not sure there's anyone here that maybe has a brief on him.
You don't need to have nobody has to.
No, I'm not saying nobody has to have. I'm just saying so that maybe we.
Yes.
Yes. If we can know something about this, what is antecedent? What is it coming in to present? Exactly. You have managed to say all the bad things about Amosun, but who is the new guy? And those are things you should consider. APC won by a margin of about 100,000 votes 2 weeks ago. What does he have to appeal to change that within 2 weeks? Because you should also consider the fact that states mostly aligned with the government at the center in Nigeria. It's people feel APC is that aligned as Joachim would say. People are aligning with the center now, and nobody wants to be in the opposition. So knowing APC has control of Nigeria's purse and revenue from May 29. What makes you think Ogun State voters will not just want to stick with that party at their state level so that they stand a better chance of getting cake?
I think let me just clear out something. I don't think every state wants to be aligned to the center. Not every state wants to be that. Some states want to be in the opposition so that they will check the state excesses. Many states are like that, collectively like that. Let's not make it seem like every state wants to be aligned to the center.
Of course, they are.
Okay. I will respond to what Topper said. Basically, the governor of Ogun State we cannot deny that. I grew up in Ibadan. Abeokuta, the school division of Kenya. And I know he has done quite a lot with aesthetics and stuff. Although sometimes it will make sense when you put an abandoned bridge over a non-busy road. You know. He has no education wise. I see like some of the best schools in Nigeria. Then now he has managed to break all basic schools, primary, secondary, private. As in a government that has failed in education. Ogun State used to compete in JETS, NNPC competition, all over the school. But now it's a thing of the past. Gomode, Abel, Mefa. But now the schools in Abia, where is this state? Obiano, Peter Obi. It's appalling. So I think in a way that it will be very unfair and wicked, to say the governor has done nothing. He has done his best. He deserves to be re-elected. But education-wise, he has failed hopelessly and woefully and helplessly. Because education is key. Education is the foundation of all human responsibility. If education is bad, your future is not insured. So then you have education. Let's not say
as in private schools without toilets.
Your primary, secondary.
They want the children. They want classes.
There are rules that
in his first step. Okay. Can we talk about Oyo State, for example?
Let's
you know, the thing is, I listen to everything that everyone has said, and then because of the proximity of Lagos, I know a bit about it. I've interacted with a couple of people. I used to work somewhere in Ojodu, which is basically border Ogun State, Lagos State. And the truth is that from the sentiment I have observed, people in the state seem pretty comfortable with the present governor, and then in their books he has a pass mark. And then that should tell us something that even if we are on this, I don't know if any of us right here, okay, he's from Ogun State, maybe he has more information, but there's lots of people on this table will not live in Ogun State. So I feel that if the people that live will not live right now in Ogun State, and then if people that live there presently have given the governor a pass, I guess that is because based on the record of performance of the former governors, they feel that this present governor has done quite a lot for them. In fact, the average person from Ogun State story is, I am very comfortable with the governor, and that's basically what I want to say. So I think that's a very good point.
Just to wrap it up, I won't lie. There are some of the things that my brothers here and my sister and everybody has said about the current administration that are actually true. But unfortunately, when you look at Ogun State, you also need to look at the IGR and how much they earn and everything compared to compared to what is being done in the state, capital projects and everything that's being done. One. Number two, you see on this issue of civil servants and salaries and everything. My mom is a pensioner in Ogun State. They pay her. I know about that. It might not exactly, but it doesn't like now become like over to the next month and everything. It might not come the exact, but how many states pay on the day? The guy tries with some basic things, and don't let us just wash it away because of partisan sentiments and everything. But I hope he does better in the area of healthcare and education, because I noticed that that's what a lot of people have said. And yeah, whatever it is fine. You can go to like I said, it was going to be a close second. Your man,
but you called it already now.
GNI, you call it close second.
No, it's not a close second, but I'm surprised that it's start training no figures.
I said you
I'm coming. I want to start telling you to call it close second. Because it's actually there's a picture all the use of 100%. It is not everywhere is quiet.
They have collective candidates. So
Okay, let's just.
Are you sure? Very interesting.
We spoke about your states. Okay.
Yeah, I have two talking points actually. The first one is about this jigs thing. We all know what it is. They not wanting to vote for the same person. I think there's a proverb.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's the first talking point. The second talking point is that if you look at the candidates, first of all, the age, Alao Akala, and most of this government, all these people are their old men. And
There's a young guy who is credible.
so imagine it. Of course, but it's an also run if we have to be realistic. Yeah. So what I'm just trying, the point I'm trying to make is that now we look at this people. London did this thing like how many years ago, and it's coming back. I mean, I think that they deserve fresh blood. They deserve someone fresh. They deserve someone new to come into the system and bring something fresh to the table. Not the same old men. I mean, it's like going back to the days of the Adi people and all that. So those are just two topic questions I'd like us to just draw minds on briefly before we go to the next thing.
I think for me, I'll call it Bajima. And that's because the opposition is failed to do what they should have done. By now, I thought we would be having Ladoja, Akala, and all these other guys in one camp to defeat a common enemy, because we can actually say Ajimobi is like their common enemy, in that he managed to actually alienate all these former governors in Oyo State. He didn't give them as much stake in his government as they hoped to get, and this is why we are probably seeing them come up again. For me, for Ajimobi, he is too quiet. Let me. It's too quiet in that he is probably the one that didn't use APC's propaganda machine as effectively as other governors have managed to do. You compare him with the Rauf Aregbesola, whose popularity in Osun State, you can't even go against that. Meanwhile, you are there in Oyo because, okay, I don't have an overview of everything he has done, but I know he tried in terms of physical infrastructure. All the road, trying to get new roads in and all that. Like most APC governors, he alienated the civil service, which they managed to get away with it. Aregbesola got away with it in Osun State, for example. They do manage to get away with it, but for him, he doesn't have other things going for him, like the other APC governors who take that risk, in that his programs and achievements are not as publicized as these other ones. He doesn't really thrive that much on the publicity around things and the fanfare until maybe say recently. But be that as it may, the opposition in Oyo State too made the mistake of disunity and rank up within them in fielding too many candidates. And I mean, APC, Labour Party, Accord Party, and then SDP. One expected
They cannot come together.
I mean, we won't be having this discussion because he really looked like he was going to lose it. And that, so I think I can confidently vote are going to get split, and then you have his own.
I didn't hear about it. I want very conversant with the politics then. And yesterday I spoke to the agent of almost all the parties. The PDP guy is the person. I spoke to my stepmom, I spoke to my dad. And there's something now, we should not be deceived by the voting person during the presidential election. Something very crazy happened on the Thursday before the presidential election. I heard they are giving another game. Ladoja was for Jonathan. And Ladoja went to Australia and said, if you didn't say vote for president, if you vote for Accord, for senatorial and House of Reps, go home. And Ladoja is the most influential politician in the battle right now. I stand to be corrected. What? In the battle right now, because Ladoja controls civil service, the market women, and many of the area guys, Ariel, Koko, and all these surrounding areas. You know, so this votes to be split around. It's not just party lines, regions.
Yeah.
When did it change?
Ajimobi, no, Ajimobi, is an elitist.
Okay.
He's an elitist. They are not the guys, people who school. I work just because all these professionals, people that lived in the Bodija, you know, offended them. But talking of the core Ibadan, Ibadan, when I say Ibadan, like, you understand those areas, that's a control those areas. So I don't see Ajimobi. The pattern where Jonathan, where a one won Ibadan clearly, it won't happen this time around. I see that just claiming Ibadan. Forget that. Don't forget that Sheyi Makinde is strong in some areas from Ibadan too. So that's a job where I think we have his votes from the elitist side, the so people who go out and vote. Because the last election has to be corrected. They bought out Ibadan Southwest last because they paid the figures. I stayed there, they bought out 2,000 votes. We are not 5,000 there. We will save for another day, you know. Akala has block votes on promotion. Akala is king in the promotion. As a even when Jonathan lost to your state hopefully, Jonathan had 90% on the promotion. Okay, Ajimobi has votes from who have block votes from Oyo Town because of the other things. Because of the other thing. The other thing, and then he made another face on the commissioner advice, and then all the other face children contested for House of Reps, and I think we know. The sharing, I don't know, 2 areas. Then testing for that to kill him because of the motion people. So, looking at the percentage, there won't be a clear winner. I thought to be correct. Well, they might be because every strong analysis developed. They might be around. They say, can the house move still? Is this in this role? I'm sorry. No, there may be a runoff. I'm aware that there was a discussion among Akala, Ajimobi, Naija, and Sheyi Makinde. After Jonathan lost the in your state, the someone has to, we have to push us on. They could not agree. I see a runoff and then one of the parties coming out. But I don't see Ajimobi, but I'm aware, I've been hearing things from Ibadan. Ajimobi controlling RSW and INEC in their wisdomness. They transported INEC materials through RSW buses. Yes.
Yeah, all over the country, not just in Oyo State.
Yeah, no. And the photo that portrays RSW with the stops. There's Tokyo. Why do you think the Supreme Court asked that Tokyo will return? And that the use of that Tokyo will return. So I see at the end of the day, there will be a runoff and then we see what happens. I don't see a clear issue for you.
Anyways, what I wanted to say was I wanted to point out something because it seems like you believe that if there's a runoff or if there's tight competition, it's only be between the ABC and the Accord Party Americans. Because according to you, you said
it will be between, it's most likely be between Akala. Akala because most of the Ibadan. Akala is the richest among them.
Okay. It's not the richest. Anyway, but that's
okay, Sheyi is the richest. Sheyi is the richest. I think Sheyi is the richest.
What I was going to say is that this LaJaja
so you don't have
I mean, I don't want you to. I because LaJaja's influence or right now, present influence, I'm really worried about because I mean, one would have expected that given the influence that you say he had, the Accord Party should have done better at the last election. At least one seat.
It doesn't want to win. Sorry, it doesn't want to win.
Because if somebody is so influential.
It's overtaking your line.
No, I know. I'm just wondering why. The Accord Party is having.
It doesn't want to be
because no, considering the Accord Party won for that matter.
So I'm wondering why in Oyo State, where LaJaja is king, and you would expect at least one seat you know, but that's
What should blame? Sorry, what should blame the PDP?
Yeah, I can't have the 2 cents, right? If I'm correct.
What should blame the PDP ultimately? When I was at
Just really strange. So I think that influence has been.
My phone was organizers.
Oh, okay, yes.
So I heard President guys saying that, oh, Sheyi Makinde will support him and stuff. But why did they not give Sheyi Makinde the ticket? Sheyi is eloquent, he's a young guy, he's what marginalized in Lagos. But they pushed him out of the PDP, so ultimately the PDP lost it. They went to give it to Line, who looks like a thug, but an American thug, who will say, you won, I'm gone. Have you seen him on TV before?
So, but do you think that the Ibadan voter or the Oyo voter is that sophisticated to say, okay, this one has good policies, but it's going to and this and that? Are they that sophisticated? Because I think the Oyo voters, first of all, there's that one of you cannot come back.
He's coming back. I know we will not enter.
Let me say
it. Akala, there's something called Udure in Yoruba. Udure is taking the cost of it. Akala was so sure of it today. He printed Ankara from, I think, China. He put Bigore on it, 2011. He has shared it around. And my guy lost. At the end of the day. I started seeing people using them to work with it. You know. So at the end of the day, as he said, it's really either there's a runoff or very tight for. I know this number.
We have other states. We have national states, Tanko and Wakura, and
Chicken Republic.
Kwara states. Anybody want to talk about?
No.
Ajibola and Abdul Fattah Ahmed.
I'm not going to
It's so unfortunate that that one is going to affect Kwara State a lot. You understand, the Kwara politics is more of a northern ideology now combined with the Saraki issue. So we can give him the victory, even though he doesn't deserve it.
So he has a victory.
I don't think Kwara gets any Buhari bandwagon is happening there. If Buhari lost that presidential election, one vote to 20 million to Jonathan, Ahmed has Kwara State there.
No, I gave it to 70%. No, I gave it to, I said first. I said first, based on the bandwagon effect of Buhari, separately based on the Saraki family. If not for these two
I think we're underplaying. I think Simon Ajibola. I think we're underplaying the quality of candidates opposition parties fielded in these states.
You cannot compare.
Maybe the candidates, you don't even know what it has to present.
See. Sorry. The fact that you don't know someone like Ajibola, or the fact that you feel that he's not in power, does not mean that he doesn't have qualities.
Nobody said that. That's what I said.
Now, see, Ahmed, almost everybody in Kwara State agrees that Ahmed has not done so well. People can say, they know he has not done so well. But the fact remains that APC,
almost everybody in Kwara State.
I said almost now.
Almost everybody. I know I've been solidly behind him. And this man is throwing out some kind of information.
If he knows
10 people, and 9 of them are saying,
I said almost now.
Correct.
I said almost.
Yeah.
From my own feasibility study, almost everybody I've met from Kwara agrees that they has not done so.
Okay.
However, they feel they don't have a better party, not candidates. They don't have a better party to vote for. Yes, because and even Saraki is still a PDP and Ahmed is an APC. PDP will have won.
All right.
Because it's just like the usual thing before this time, before I need people dying. Those who are trying to so we should give that to Ahmed, even though he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, and it seems like Kwara has the most number of governorship candidates. I heard that about 6 million. That's pretty
Right,
I just thought.
Okay, so we have Kaduna State, we have Mukhtar Yero, who is going for re-election, and so
It's good to your mother.
I mean, I think it's going to be tough, but I would.
It's not be more than it's not be more than I think it's gonna be
the momentum for anything in Kaduna is massive.
If it's not massive, but you know, there's something that I really like about this trend, and this is a sentiment that I think will shock my brother. This widespread whatever for APC is not good for the whole race. Yes, because APC will sit pretty. You know, in the Senate, they have the majority, the House of Reps, they have the majority. Yeah, I know, but I'm just thinking again, like really, everywhere APC. I think the citizen, the other the citizen, now, we need to be more conscious. We need to put the government on their toes because for the next 4 years, there might not be any viral or what do you call it, a strong opposition.
Or vibrant.
no,
You know, that's good.
Strong opposition. So, but if the people constitute themselves as the ones to hold the government accountable at every juncture, at every step, Mr. Man, I don't know why we don't tell you that. Maybe you will have something to support. If Ambode beats Lagos, we can absorb one from another party and you don't call it another.
Now, at this stage, I need to
But we're talking about
APC, INEC official public, and all the old balls were voted for APC.
Which state?
I just want to look for Lagos State. All the old, what do you call it? The old voucher.
This is yesterday now.
The old voucher. The old voucher. The guy was even caught today. I think this is from.
And they won't catch people.
I just wanted to make a comment on what you guys said. You know, you are talking about Kaduna, and then the truth is, I think another factor that needs to play, serious, aside from the bandwagon effect that we're talking about, and then you said how it's not good for democracy and all of that, I agree. But we also fail to mention that Yero has actually performed. I mean, he has performed really badly, and the people of Kaduna, aside from they are clamoring for change, not change just because of why, but change because of, you know what. This guy has
such he can do what else progressively. I think that's the APC's game changer so far. Putting these guys forward, putting all these guys to their state to go with better options.
Now I want to talk about this of when you come to the APC and everything is falling apart and how we need it and all of that. See my problem. Democracy. Okay, sorry, let me rewind. Before now, the PDP has had a lot of advantage to literally remake Nigeria's average. That's if they were serious, okay. But they have squandered all of it. There was a time they had 27 or 36 governors.
Yes,
they had 2 of both houses, and they could basically do all of it, but they wasted it. Now, these people,
I want to believe that they've seen all the errors that the PDP have made. And now, because right now they have 214 seats in the House of Reps, 64 in the Senate. It's approaching to death. Now, if they're able to lock up places like Lagos, for example, and get what I expect to be 20 governorship seats, 18 to 20, in my estimation, today, they're going to have the kind of opportunity that the PDP has had before. Now, it doesn't always have to go to lead to complacency. In 1964,
what did it do?
In 1964, Lyndon Johnson won his first full term as US president because after Kennedy got killed, he finished the term and then he was and then in the federal in the elections for federal legislature, they got a majority, two-thirds majority in both houses. What Lyndon Johnson eventually ended up doing was a period of domestic legislation that has underpinned American society for 4 decades. He did things like Medicare, Medicaid, the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act. All of that was possible because of the majority that his party commanded in both houses. There were, of course, people that wanted to misbehave and not to the party line. Eventually, the votes needed to get all those things passed. When he whipped the votes, got all those people, and it's a range of bills. I think at least 40 bills, wide-ranging bills, social security as well. Also signing them. Now, what I'm saying is that for people who actually know what they are doing and who have a clear agenda, things like this are actually an advantage, not a disadvantage. Now, what we should be focusing on is to ask ourselves, is to try to find out what precisely the priorities, the governance priorities of APC are, because by the time this is not understood and then you have the defections and so on and so forth, people that vote for APC, they are going to have to get in both houses. They're going to have an opportunity to do all the difficult things that other people have decided to do. And that's the issue. That's my own issue. My own, whether we need the second party or we need the opposition, all the verbal opposition that we've been having, where has it gotten us?
It's not here.
It is anywhere.
It has not
The thing is that they've not been handed a mandate. They're not about to be handed a mandate. And the extent to which they handle that mandate will end up being a plus rather than a minus. We could be here in 4 years and be talking about all the legislative work they managed to get done.
I disagree with that.
Sorry, I just have a question.
I see his point and it's fine, but I can see that Jimmy Angoi's team is using drones.
Oh yeah.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful.
That's really cool.
I just want to ask a question.
Okay, so
journalists in Rivers and the head.
Rivers.
The cable and tell journalists robbed in Rivers. So
My channels.
Rivers.
Okay, I see the mandate to give to the APC as a contract, so to speak. You want to give somebody a contract, half the amount you want different types of contract. I believe the most effective type is the one where you give him half, and then having completed the job, then pay him the remainder. That way he's committed to it. He knows that if he doesn't deliver, he won't get the other half. And that is what I think we just did to the APC. We're giving them half the mandates. But let them know that in the next 4 years, we'll have enough power to take you back if you guys don't perform. But right now, the trend that is ongoing is that we're giving them the full mandate to do whatever it is they please. Now, I am praying. This is not politics. I am praying that they do it because whatever happens affects me. I think I'm alive if I should start thinking about something and all. Whatever happens affects me. They actually do. What if they do? So I'm not about that. We're trying out the PDP. We're trying out the bastard with the baby. We should have a solid, a strong opposition. Now the PDP has not done well. I'm supporting Team Abedi right now, but the PDP has not done well as a whole. Yeah, we know that.
But then you have to keep it in mind that we need to have an opposition that can put the incumbents in check, put the excesses in check. In the next 4 years now, we start struggling to dislodge the APC as well perform. How difficult it is. 4 years.
They have a very good You'll be suffering, though. Let's think you're enjoying.
As a matter of I agree with most of what my brother has said, and I think it's very important. We should know that the nucleus of democracy is about check and balance. And when you have a party in power that controls the executive and the legislature, it is absolutely dangerous. You are putting the country in absolute bondage. Let's be further with ourselves. That my friend here, my brother, talked about so many things. He made use of as an example, and I'm happy he's bringing up the issue. But that is a country where democracy was, where that's the same country, not the same country like Nigeria. And Nigeria is not an everyday democratic country. I'm sure you understand that even states in Nigeria. Okay, let's look at Lagos as an example. Lagos State for the past 16 years that they've controlled the majority in the House of Assembly. And just the same party. And you should look at the policies they've been bringing up. One of which is the FOI. If we are talking about bills that are being passed, social welfare bill has not been passed in the Lagos State, and you want it to be. At least we use the APC control state as an example. Like one welfare bill for the past 16 years has not been passed in the Lagos State. That is well. The FOI bill, the FOI has not been considered in Lagos State. Why the control majority, they can absolutely members of the House of Assembly. So when people bring up the issue of the UDC, that was a phantom. They don't stand that time. It is very dangerous for democracy. For us to have a legislature and the executive are controlled by one political party. It is very dangerous. It's a time bomb, and I think it's very important. We need a very strong opposition, and I feel that PDP should put it as a check and become.
All right. Okay, so what I was going to say is this, because I'm really surprised that the people that basically support the PDP are making this argument, because the truth is, for the longer part of our democracy, the PDP has actually controlled majority of our governance structure. Yes, but the truth is, what will happen now is that if the PDP is being dislodged, yes, we're actually by that dislodgement on its own has actually created that's opposition that we're looking for, because you know what, I had power and then I want to take power back. So yes, I am going to actually be on my feet. You know what, nobody is going to scrutinize the APC as much as the PDP will. And then the PDP has not shown us that, because even during the campaign, I mean, I know that the APC at some point, started the smear campaign and all that, but I still feel that the PDP used the smear campaign more than the APC did. So it was a matter of, every candidate was scrutinized. This was just at the point of campaign. So I do not think that regardless of how much states the APC is going to control in the legislature or how many states they're going to have, I do not think that PDP is going to sit pretty and say, what, I feel that they are going to scrutinize every single action taken by every APC person in power. PDP is not going to, and then the good thing, PDP, even in states where they are losing, have actually, because of the fact that they have actually been in governance for a while, whether we like it or not, there's specific structures they already have. Whether they win the election now or not, it does not dislodge those structures. There's some structures that are there and always be there. So what happens is that PDP just has to tap into those structures when they are ready to be serious. On the other hand, I am not a card-carrying member of the APC, but I'm not a card-carrying member. But I support a majority of the APC candidates because I have worked closely with them. I have worked closely with Pashala. I have worked closely with them. Who I personally have a personal bias for him, because I worked in his office and then I had a front row seat to most of the policies that. So I had a front row seat to most of the policies that. I saw all meals, all calisthenics, all schools actually, impact people. I was working in a particular group that was actually in charge of functionalization. So what he was doing, I don't think that's one point. So that's it. I had a problem with it. So what he was doing was that not only was he doing policies, he also created a particular office that was called Bureau of Social Services. And what he used to do was evaluation. This was not just mouth. I used to go to site. I'm a lawyer. was the amount of engineering I know, not so bad. Because I go to sites every day. We go to each site, each school, see what is happening. The contractors are actually on their feet to ensure that things are done well. Now, the only problem I have with APC, which we can also tie with this issue of deflection and everything, is that what is the APC's ideology? Because I feel that when a party has an ideology, the progress is too big. So tell us what you stand for. Because if you tell us what you stand for, when and Elagoja, for instance, comes to your party, we're like, but this guy doesn't stand for what you stand for. If you are standing for welfareism, let us know that that is what it's about. If you are standing for, if you are standing for, going green, capitalism, let's understand this. Let's know where the party stands. So that's the only problem I have, because when you do not have an ideology, it's easy for people to just, basically, for you to have dodgy party members. So let's understand what the APC. So the APC has to come out and tell us this is what we stand for, so we can hold them to that. That's what I
think. So by your statements now, we understand the fact that the APC doesn't have an ideology.
I said it's not a clear ideology.
It's not that. It is still forming, it's still getting there. Yeah. And I want to arrogate all the old powers to them.
No, if they're getting power,
who's giving the APC the power to this constitution?
Okay, let me explain. It's a whole lot of things. It's not just the people. It's the people that the people are following. First of all, before the APC was disclosed the PDP, the APC had, let me give you figures, the APC had, let me give you names rather. The APC had Buhari. Buhari is one man army in the whole world. He's one man army. The APC had two. I think Joaquin knows me. Joaquin understands the fact that I do not like. Okay, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan to speak. So, but you have to respect. You have to respect the man. You have to respect what he's able to do.
Respect his politics.
You have to respect his politics. You have to. You cannot respect our guests. You cannot respect it. They had Buhari. They had they had Amici in the south. They had Okorocha in the southeast. These are all men. These are all people in their own zones. They are strong men. They are solid men. And they had media. They had these five things. And they had sentiments. They had the social media sentiments backing them. How long would it take the PDP to have all that? How long? And they had money. They had Lagos. And they had a governor who was the ideal governor of the whole country. Unless you come to Lagos, if you live outside Lagos, you believe Lagos is the best place in Nigeria. And to some extent, that's not development at all. You could say Lagos is the best place in Nigeria. When you equate to it, how much money they get. You might start asking questions. But the fact remains that they had all these things, and it took them 12 years to actually come together and destroy the PDP. The PDP right now doesn't have half of these things. It will take them probably 24 years to destroy the APC. The APC becomes high-handed. What I'm saying is, why praying that the PDP, why I'm praying that the APC should do well, why I am praying that the APC should do very, very well. Why I'm praying that the APC should do very, very well. For the sake of our nation, for the sake of nationalism, and for the sake of our future, and for the sake of our unborn children, and for the sake of our younger ones, we should not give all the powers to the APC now. It is too early. After 4 years, after we really have the government and have a viable choice, we cannot sit down and say, okay, there's a level playing field. So we say 60, 40, 55. But right now, the APC has. Jim Agbaje loses today. If Jim Agbaje loses today, if that by some miracle wins Rivers State today, the APC has 80% of Nigeria. You can put me at 80% APC. Do you know how long it was?
What did you say?
I didn't get that.
The people who've been there for 16 years. Did you try?
How long did it take us to take them out?
And to respond to that, what I can tell you PDP has is a roadmap on how to be the opposition.
Okay.
Written by the APC.
Okay.
So they can work with but they are safe. See, PDP made only 2 ideal governors to work their butt off for the next 4 years. It could be Jimmy. They just need 2 model governors.
Yes.
That's the best place to start. They don't even
have more. We know the job, but the media.
Which one?
The roads are not
exactly. Okay. The APC roadmap to how on how to be a good opposition that I was talking about. Now you know you need the media. You can't continue to be arrogant in your dealings. Now you know you need the media. Get 2 model governors. Get 2 model governors. Get a good PR team for them and rebuild. But this one that all their members, all their elders are even alive in. That's the problem. But I'm hoping the young people in APC, I mean in BDP, I'm hoping the young people, I mean there are some young people with fresh ideas that they did not let, which is another thing you didn't mention about the APC. Which is something you didn't mention about the APC. Letting young people come up with fresh ideas and flagging the party. They still have Donald Duke, they still have Frank Nweke. They can use these guys to be the flag bearers of the party, to be the ideal models, and politics the way
they need a state where they can instead of be like a beacon, like this is what we're doing in this state. So for example, you guys can actually go to the house.
PDP is most likely going to retain Delta.
No, I am not saying. I'm saying for our own sake. I don't care about the people. I'm saying for us. This is like speaking for us, the people, to protect ourselves.
PDP has Bayelsa right now. Yeah. PDP has Ekiti. We don't know how long that will. PDP will most likely retain Akwa Ibom, Delta, and most likely Williams.
Okay.
Those are states with allocation that they can use.
Thank you. Thank you for mentioning Frank. I just saw him on Twitter.
Oh, really?
I have a huge crush. I have to say it.
Why? He has what it takes. See, he's rich, he has done well at all his other portfolios. No, Junior has not done well. Junior has not done well.
Atlantic, how did you get money to be an investor in all those companies? He was the sole distributor.
I'm a lawyer, right? I look like the Atlantic family. They have a huge chunk of GTV. I also know what it takes to be on the board of directors.
Okay.
Yeah. Sign your paper. I say, calm down.
I am
in most cases, if doesn't have any track record.
If spreading, private companies. Wait, a lot has been said about the private company. A lot has been said about his pharmacy. If he wanted to spread, if he wants to spread his pharmacy around the world, he can't. He wants to take the money.
What has Junior done for Lagos?
We know how.
How do you know? Tell me one thing here, and let me follow you. What has he done for Lagos?
What has he done for Lagos? Okay. That's what. Do you know the time he was in the Pharmacy Society of Nigeria?
Excuse me, gentlemen. Excuse me, but both of you, whatever it is you're saying about Lagos needs to end in the next we have somehow found ourselves back in Lagos.
Okay.
There are 10 other hold on, Isabella.
Now the thing is that we're talking about how the PDP needs, how the PDP
are sick. We don't have
are sick.
We need to have a position.
Now we're talking about what the party they know just now. Guess what? He ran on the platform of his party and he lost.
Primaries. Frankie
No, but he didn't lose because he didn't lose. He didn't lose nothing. You know, the guys are ready for a fraction. He actually won. He won the fraction. So that's like
last month they were handing out tickets saying they going to anything.
Yeah.
That's my point. Now the thing is, we're talking about having a beacon, a space that projects the PDP as a change party and everything. Well, they will have opportunities beginning from today to amend their ways and to do better. Shebi, who are they changing for Rivers State? Okay. Who is in Ekiti? Okay. Who else? Who told you that? Now the thing is, see, my point is, we talk about Nigeria, we talk about Fango, we talk about Usashidoka and the rest of them. Now the thing is that none of these guys has any actual political power yet. They are still waiting for tickets for one thing or the other. And it's only by having that political power that they can show whatever it is they need to show us. So the PDP can begin to change by picking different people to begin with. Not even younger people, really competent people. And they will have opportunities in their governorship seats. They will get
at least 5 states.
They should get at least after more than 5. I think 5 to 8, maybe even 10 if they are lucky.
Maybe it has national structures they can leverage on.
Exactly. So they're going to have opportunity to show us that they've changed. And I'm not sure they have changed because based on their 16 years, they reserve nothing less than complete eradication by force.
Okay, Isabella.
Yeah, I don't want to discuss it.
So what you want to talk about?
Is what we were talking about before, that how do you hold people accountable? Because for me, their campaign was anti-PDP. It was every time I do media relations, so I go through the papers every day. And it was always let me finish because I know how long I put my hand up. Take your time. Yes. So I used to read all their stories, and the rhetoric was anti-Jonathan, anti-PDP. They were never coming out to say, okay, when we get there, we're going to do this. When we get there, it was late when they now started bringing manifesto, promising us free school meals, change. Before that time, it was just Jonathan did this, Jonathan did not do this, PDP did this, the PDP did do that. And that was all I could see as an opposition party, that all they needed to do was just to discredit the ruling party so that they will get there and then they will do their own thing. Now they've promised us heaven and earth, and we're waiting to see this change where $1 free school meals. There are so many things like, you know, I support PDP, but at a point I was thinking to myself that if only these APC people will come to power, let's even see. Maybe I will see this 24 hours electricity, maybe I'll see this, maybe I'll see that. And you know, it's at the back of my mind, but I'm sorry. I'm sure we'll have this conversation 4 years later, and we'll still be having the same issues that we're discussing because Nigeria is not going to turn around. So now I'm thinking, okay, maybe not as fast. But APC said exactly to do is that you just steer the ship. That's all. The ship will not start moving already in the direction. Maybe the ship is like it will move like this, then someone will now come again to now start moving the ship. So I'm not expecting all those ships moving. And all of that. Because if not actually 2 wheels, when there is no pipe-borne water. Anyway, that's aside. So my is, how do we hold the government accountable? Is it by social media? If the NBC controls the media, are those media still going to now start holding these same people accountable, or will they continue spreading the mantra of change and how this is this and how that is that? Because there are articles about how the APC machinery has really used the media. So I want to know, how are we going to hold these people accountable? Then accessibility to these people that were voting. How easy is it when you send emails? Are they going to respond? Who is even managing their Twitter account? When do they sit down and they say, okay, in the UK, you can write a letter to your MP, because I did it. I wrote a letter to my MP, and my MP wrote me back. I went to go and my issues that I had. He went and he helped me. I had issues with immigration, and he went to the Home Office, spoke to them, and he wrote me back and everything. And at least I knew that, okay, this is the opportunity. Yes, I could see it, but in Nigeria, it's not how it's going to be. It's not going to be like what they're going to do, so that we can have access to these leaders and how we can now hold them accountable.
Okay, so we're going to have to move on to another state.
I felt that
we are the only one permitted to
What I think is this. I think that social media has played a very influential role in how things have worked out for Buhari and the ABC. And I really think that the social media people who if things don't go well, because they steer the conversation in favor of these people. If things don't go well as they hype everything, as they put everything out as they predicted and all that, they owe it to the Nigerian people to turn back again and make sure that they're correctly. So that's what I say. Because first of all, because
a member of the PDP, you cannot say that.
For the record, I'm not a member.
No, you him. No, you cannot say that. You can't say that. You can't say that. Show him. No.
Social media has been highly influential in how things are turned out so far. Social media has to, if things don't go well, social media has to turn back. It just owes it to the Nigerian people. The Nigerian people who are not on social media, who were heavily influenced by the direction social media headed. So that it's better to well. Let's yes, that's what I thought you said elections are not won on social media. So why are we putting it on social media to make the government work?
Okay. We're moving on to Imo State. We have incumbent Rochester Okorota and his VP.
The vibe I'm getting, the anti-APC, we don't know, sorry, but whatever, the last threat by Oba Operos, that you be very irresponsible, irrepressible, and criminal. Those things are, they're going against it. Do you understand? The vibe I'm getting from people dealing like, oh,
very safe.
that your is taking in.
Let us probably interrogate this thing. Imo State, they voted out an incumbent. What is even saying? Not even my issue. My issue is even that they voted out an incumbent. They voted out what's his name? Okay. And the people of Imo State seem to me to be the most of the 5 southeastern states. They seem to me to be the most. I wonder what is the word. I wonder what the word is. Because if 4 years ago, we had them camping outside correction centers to make sure that there was no mango and everything. And even this time, they gave Buhari the highest number of votes. They gave him 90%. It was not 25%, but they gave 90% 2 weeks ago. So they seem to me to be very aware, fair, and all of those things. So the thing, and I don't know how it's possible that someone who got 19% for someone that is a northern candidate from the state will not be able to get re-election unless something else has changed. It's a difficult thing. I've been hearing conflicting reports about his actual performance in his state. I know he started okay, But it seems that as politics and everything,
I actually
now
I mean, I was impressed with what I saw, but then knowing the fact that some state university, the development is based, I asked the real people. I stayed for 2 days. I asked the real people there. I asked them, my friends who are from Imo State, said, this guy, okay, one of them is actually EP, his family is EP, so I thought it was biased. So I asked students of IMSO, students of the same now. The guy is not doing well. So we sit there, the guy is trying, but it is very, very free tuition or something like that. Yeah. So I think this is bad. I think until the urban media statement, it was 55 for Jam. 45 split between the other guy.
Around
guy. Yeah.
if I remember.
Yeah.
I
don't think that. I don't know, but the guy is well, so he's trying as well. And then so right now,
strong candidate.
Yeah. So right now, asking it depends on where they're coming from. It depends on the it depends on the city they're coming from. Now, what I was saying is, I'm aware that some people from the southeast, all over the urban cities provided for some southeasterners from over 20 bus stops from the east to bring them to Lagos for focus. Both are seeing the withdraw and go back home. I have a message on my phone. You get that statement changed. Yes, people left Lagos before presidential. Now, I will try to work, I will do it in 30 minutes, 2 days today. I will like that. They come back, so okay, we want to drown. So that statement went very far. A lot of things. Very far. And people call APC Yaruba. Well, Yaruba party. It's of a man party. They go to the east. So no matter how you look at it, don't affect the chances.
Can I say something very quickly?
No, I'm very
you know, I'm partly from Anambra because that's where I'm from. I don't know why you're going like that. I embrace this multi-ethnicity with pride. So yes. And then my mom is actually half Kaduna, half, and I tell people that, you know what, if they actually try Nigeria, I'll probably have to be by the toll base because my dad is anyway, my observation is this. I have there's actually a WhatsApp group with my cousins from from the east. And then you should go and observe, and this is general. I feel that, I mean, I don't want to sound tribalistic and trying to ascribe a certain criteria to certain people, but what I've noticed is that the typical man from the from the southeast does not take things personally. On social media, maybe some people came to fight and said the other said this, said that, said this, said that. I will tell you that my cousins are like, yeah, what's our own? But well, the truth is, yes, they will tell you that, you know what, it's not really my business. Just like somebody mentioned today. So the fact that it's not affecting his business and he's sure, he's not concerned with you. You can say whatever you like. So even if everybody is like, okay, fine, the narrative the utterance from the other, which was very irresponsible, by the way, actually maybe he actually changed a few things. But I do not feel that it has changed the dynamics of how people are going to vote. I do not think so. Because to me, the regular Southeasterner doesn't take things too personally. For him, my mom would tell me when she was going to vote, she said, please though, I'm an Igbo woman, but I want to vote for Buhari. What's my own? So what? So I think that's
I think Kaduna, so is the Kaduna.
No, she's not so basically, yes, it was a big deal. Maybe for a lot of people in Lagos that felt offended about it and everything. To be honest, what I had observed is that it is not going to actually screw it. Yeah, that's what I think.
Sorry, I just want to serious.
Let's not
my people, Governor Korocha is going to end. I don't worry, yes, really. I've been to where once during this 10 years.
I'm
He gave you better talk when you Muslim university. That's funny.
No, and I think
I'm not saying
he had a duty to do pressure on him at this moment.
They will not pay rent. I mean,
You should work at least
once
Let it talk now.
Just like you said, I was in Owerri some time back, and I was impressed. You know, even when I went there earlier before he became governor, I liked the way Owerri was. When I went back again, it was much better. You know, new structures springing up here and there, and the roads and everything was looking really good. But even if Okorocha would have any competition, you see, here you are, and not that they like him, I don't think he's going to be. Well, no. I think himself and the guy from Africa are going to split the votes that are supposed to come, like, as a block vote to the opposition.
From where?
The APC's votes in Imo State will remain on vote.
See, first of all, the after what happened, I voted for Buhari. I campaigned for him. Those who know him, I campaigned a whole lot for Buhari and Igbo. But the average Igbo man, voted Jonathan.
Yeah.
And they were paid by his loss.
Not because
Not because
PDP, but because it was Jonathan.
Not because I don't know about the party. They were paid by his loss because they felt they not read. First of all, so for that reason, they are going to come out and mass to vote today. They're going to come out in their states to vote today, and they're not going to vote. I mean, the plan is not to vote for all the other parties who want to take over the whole Nigeria. So that will count against the Okorocha's strong point is that he has tried.
Yeah.
He's like that point he was and that might play well for him.
I think one other move that could count against him at the end of the day is him contesting the APC presidential primaries, because that took so much of his time.
Yes.
He had very little time. In fact, it was more like him doing heavy testing, because he went really, because he had so very little time to actually stay in his state during a very critical period.
The people of Southeast are resolute. They are not going to vote for any party. They don't care about the candidate. They're not going to vote for any party apart from PDP as far as this election is concerned. It's something they unanimously agreed on. They see it as the same on behalf, right? Just the same way the Northerners. March 28th general election is not positive.
Discounting their political judgments, voting out the government for how many years? What jihad is there? The government has not performed. It is not to look
wait.
Now, see.
Wait. What else?
Now, see, when I see the issue of journalists, it's not about if handed the vote.
Sorry, something coming in here about Baniko being escorted to the police station after going around PUs and doling out cash. I can't confirm this. If I want to be I want him to win.
Please let me just
This is how He has this love.
so let us understand this podcast. Please let us understand this fact. We'll be doing ourselves a great injustice when we sit down here over soft drink and when we sit down here over soft drink and tell ourselves we are already united Nigeria and is not put upon. Well, we are not that we are not someone can get there. Well, our political ideology. The March 28th election was cut across ethnic lines. It is all about it's only the people from the southwest. It's only people from the southwest that voted based on conviction. I'm coming now.
It's going to happen. I believe
sentiments that we are going to provoke. I will not sit on this table. I'm going to leave this place. We cannot continue. No, we are partial. Don't touch me. No, don't come by me. I'm not going to do that.
We have to understand that. We have to know that. Not because we know that we have to encourage that. Obvious. I'm not saying obvious. Now, when you talk about the issue of Imo State, I smile most times. Because I didn't think the election was not held on March 28th, and they were because about Piolu in his humbleness and kept quiet. Mr. Okolocha might probably may win the election. However, based on the statements by the Oba, based on the outcome of the election, and some of the most of them really ensure that the state is not down with the people. Because they didn't vote, they didn't vote. So you see, when you come from Abga, predominantly Igbo party, let's just say that for disagreement, to a party that looks more like a northern Yoruba nation. Then you expect people from the southeast to feel the sort of betrayal. Gubernatorial lost the election. Then later the Oba Akolu appointed the last statement. And now when you have this, when you have this scenario, this scenario that follows up, you should expect background effect.
I think
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's one. Let's go over to Borno State. We have Kashim Shatima, and yourself for the one.
Very interesting one there because
Not really.
in a way, what I was going to say was that for Shetima, unfortunately, what we from this side of the Niger have heard the most about a state in the news is Boko Haram. I mean, that has sort of dominated discussions about Borno, but actually, according to
Borno.
What's this story about Gambo Nawana? Because that whole issue with the courts and ruling and all of that.
the candidate after I've now gone with another.
Yes.
No.
I was
from the PDP candidate.
Okay. You are very sure it's from the PDP candidate.
It was like it. Because it used from what PDP out of not devils.
How about your states, Brian Gaidam and
we're not talking about Abia.
Okay, Brian Gaidam and yes.
And what your way is obviously
I do believe that he will be fine as well. I worry about the way of the Buhari may put
that's one of the states that might fall on the Buhari back.
It seems to me that it would be a bit unfair. He's one of the PDP governors that actually don't deserve to keep his seat. And one of the few. But unfortunately he may come under some pressure there because of just this way of Buhari.
No, so when you look at the strength of Buhari's character, that's very interesting.
I can't this.
Okay,
Before the postponement, I saw it in Niger State of PDP candidates
He's not seriously aligning with where Buhari is going. That's the only place I know.
Okay, then Zamfara State up to Aziz Yari and Manish Nkampi.
Oh.
That's going to be interesting. It's like
don't take out any states. They are
not.
Okay, so we say
What interested me?
yes.
I think that was supposed to be Alimadu Sharif and no, okay, that was it's this guy I was going to mention, Chad. Because he won his own Senate. So I think it's just that.
exactly. Just like I said, this is a woman that has done. She has done so well. With her professional career, she's and then she has a lot of money, which is what she used to measure success in part of the world.
Sadly.
And apart from that, she has gathered a piece of professional stuff. And then I generally respect this one. And then I'm just really what I'm really looking forward to in Taraba, of course, how win. But for me, it's also more about how is agenda, how much is agenda actually going to influence women. So I would really like to talk to people and say, what do you feel about having people government? Because you actually be surprised at what people will respond to. So for me, that's really interesting. And then if it happens that she wins, it's going to usher in a new dimension to our democracy, where we're not only talking about democracy, we're also talking about the fact that females can actually come out to say, because it will give a lot of people lots of hope, that, oh yes, this woman actually did it. And whether we like it or not, our female participation in politics is actually very, still, it's not optimal. And then these are maybe because of the social roles that women are subjected to, just like I mentioned earlier. She's supposed to be in the kitchen, she's supposed to be taking care of the kids, what she's doing in politics, or she shouldn't be rolling out orders to men, she's the neck, the man is the head, stuff like that. So those social roles that have been ascribed to women have actually also, played a role in the fact that women are not so active. Women in this part of the world are not so active in politics. Then again, another thing is, because one of the questions when I met somebody, we talked about a whole lot of things. There's so many issues that people have raised and everything. But there's specific issues, maybe because I was not call myself a gender activist, but there's specific issues that bother my mind. For instance, I work with an NGO that talks about that tries to advocate against sexual violence. Yes, that's an NGO very close to my heart. I realize that issues that are peculiar to women, sexual harassment, sexual violence, physical abuse, domestic violence, that things that I'm not saying it doesn't happen to men, but I'm saying that women are very no, I'm not saying that. No, excuse me.
I know why they are broken up their heads. They have got different parts of their head.
Politics all over the world. The politics all over the world. Politicians are beginning to recognize issues that women face. Whether we agree that they actually say this is true or not, the truth is it's actually there. So I'm just looking at this like, okay, if she even wins, what happens? What does it mean for women? What are her priorities going to be like? Is she going to actually look at, so for me it's really interesting because her win or her loss, it's going to actually, change a lot of dynamics for the political landscape in Nigeria.
Wow, well said. Back to what again?
The CDP has talked about a lot about empowering women and things like that. But the APC as a party is not much more than a year. They already have a female governorship candidate.
That's good.
It may not be where
Yeah, no, and you should do. So everyone 60 and I'll show about 16 years.
That's true.
Anyway, what the thing is, although if she did win, it should be a better surprise because first of all, Mary lost the state. Yeah, it was close, but he lost the state, and then there's a religious thing in Taraba. There's north south. Sorry, the Christian Muslim thing. There's still right now Juma, and then the PDP also is someone who is strong. So if you did win, it would be a very, in fact, I think they are upset in my view. Wow. A very welcome upset. So let's see how that goes.
Niger State, Abubakar Bello, and the APC Admar Nasco of the
Nasco fanboy.
Oh, yes.
It has nothing to do with it.
It's fine.
Ladies,
that's why when you talked about waking up in a primaries, the primaries in Lagos, I said,
I don't think that would seriously. It's somebody that looks fresh and sharp. I my grandfather.
Is fine.
Oh, that's sweet.
Why is fine?
No, let's focus on.
I'm telling you, Jega is a fine.
Oh,
Please,
please, this is part of our.
Yes, we have. We move on. Kelly Atiku, Bajugu, and Sam
No, is that our temple? No. Yeah,
Yes,
pictures.
yeah.
you don't even say the number again. Maybe we should take a break. What number?
Oh, okay. If you like to call in, I think Cookie just tweeted a few minutes ago.
You can call us at 014544388. It is YNaija's situation room for elections, and hashtag Nigeria decides. Up on Twitter at YNaija. The handle actually is YNaija, and I still have the full house, 10 of us. Ayo Tunde. Is it Ayo Kule or whatever? Ayo. Then there's Chidi, then there's Adetayo, then there's Buki, then the same time there's Isabella, and there's myself, Adinike. So any updates on happenings? I think Sokoto APC scholarship candidates, Middle Samuel has cast his votes, and
surprisingly voting has ended in some units because you have 30-40 people on the queue to vote. So some parts of Osun State and some places in the north, because voters turnout is really low. So there's really nothing much to
conducting gubernatorial elections. I mean, I think that would actually play a part on voters' participation, because a lot of people are like, oh, it's just the state assembly elections, what's really happening. So for sure, maybe that's the reason why that's why
but for someone like somewhere like Ekiti, for example, the state house of assembly election is very critical because now it's 16-19.
And now CJ has been ordered to set up this.
And Fayose needs a reversal of that majority for him to survive. He's still the governor. If they lose, then it's not a chance. But also, the way it's going, it's looking like they can wrap up his impeachment before
He may just be making history. First governor to be impeached twice.
What do you say you frustrate?
Maybe another sentiment is personally, I'm not communicating, but I also take it very personally when people try to, the judiciary is an arm of government that I won't say they are untouchable, but it should be an arm of government that we should respect. So when the rumors or the stories, because this one I heard was true, rumors started coming in that Fayose does not have respect for the rule of law, which is a very big deal for me. Yes, I mentioned that. Because she cannot lock down the judiciary for Friday. And then how do you order? How are you a sitting governor? And then you order for a judge to actually be, to be beaten up, to be rough-handed. Excuse me. What do you
ordinarily I would not like to say this on air, but I was in court during one of those, calm down. I never claimed anything.
You called me.
I did not call you. You don't exchange for me. Now, what happened to me was the greatest desecration of justice anywhere in the world. Do you know what it means for a judge to be? In fact, the judge was about to sit, and they just took over the whole place. They mocked the courtroom, flogged people inside the courtroom. Lawyers had to jump out of the courtroom with their guns and their weapons.
Do you know this happened for sure?
Now, I didn't say that I saw where the judge was beating up.
Let's
you were flogging. Do you know, for you to have the effrontery To even make noise. Even make noise within the audacity.
You see, I'm really surprised they can turn this platform to a more green. See, there is no room for pedestrians to. My brother came with, he said, my brother came with unconfirmed information. Unconfirmed, he said it was in court. Some hoodlums came, distorted the process. And they dealt with some colleagues of his. However, I think it is very, very wrong for us to link such atrocity to government.
On the day that I am talking about, I did not with my own eyes see governor. I did not on the day I did not see him in court. It wasn't the day, it was 2 days after.
No,
calm down. But I saw people wearing his t-shirts.
Thank you,
to play. I'm talking based on the fact that I see myself first and foremost as a minister in the Temple of Justice. And my first duty is to the court to ensure that justice at any point in time is done. It's not just to see it is actually done. So that is why I came here to say that on the day I was talking, I did not see violation. But I saw. That's my point. You see, I condemn that heart. She said, I don't know.
Thank you. That's the part
for the election petition. It was the days after where Mr. Aroti was assaulted by thugs that were passive. That were brought to the court and were being controlled by fire.
Wait. Were you for that day? Can you categorically
let's go. Okay, there's a picture online about the police officer that has Okay, there's a picture online about the police officer, female police officer that has collapsed, the state heat.
I don't want to laugh.
It's something else.
And another picture of Governor Dan Papa sometime casting his votes.
Wow, that's nice.
Well, the carrier has been taken to him in the car. And, yeah. So raises Dan Papa sometime. And it raises a lot of questions about that part of our constitution. When you should step down, many things. And it's like history is repeating itself again. But then again,
I think we should talk about that.
Okay, yes, we need to talk about that. Yeah, Alex Oti, I don't want to blur his.
Okay, the EPS.
And I am, yes. That's the APC candidate.
You know, Abia has been consistently one of the worst government states.
What is it? Like 16 years.
bias has also been very, very bad consistently over the last 60 years. So they desperately need something to change for the better. Although this change is not on the platform of APC, it appears because everybody is endorsing, and people that I have spoken to are all endorsing Alex Chotsi, former organ top and down back, you know, and so although one or two of his campaigns have been very interesting, but I think that hopefully if he wins there, he can help.
Before that state is backward. We are suffered. I was in that state for a job.
When it comes to geometric power something now, where there was 24 hours electricity in Aba. And then personally, when he resigned his advancement, then he went to do this geometry. Then he said, don't worry about becoming that model city because of all the production that goes on. Anyway, change has come, so
my internet.
Sorry, yes, it has already buffered now. Swift. Okay, one other state. What else? Anything else happening? I saw something, a statement attributed to Wale Soyinka.
There was a channel that was somewhere specified. As always.
Okay, he said that he has given an assessment of the 2015 elections, rating the elections slightly above average. Do you, if you were going to score the entire election process from March 28th to today, over 10, what would you give it? What is it? Just everything from the elections, 2015 elections.
I have my views about them. I'm not sure. I have my views about them.
6.5 over 10. If you were to score it over 10,
I'll give you 4.
6 over 10. 6 over 10 because of the candidate. Without candidates,
but the candidate doesn't make sense.
Right, you said
because of the card reader, they don't use in the exams, for example. A lot of people came out and because they couldn't use the card reader, they work and they said they should go home. They went home. They couldn't see. They don't know about it. It was card reader not working. See, they don't know. They were not aware. The idea was everybody was going to use the card reader. So when they came and the card reader was not working, they left. Who mentioned that the woman, if a person doesn't really care about it, the person just.
Do you know what the card reader failure was for 128? Less than 1%.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
Less than 1%.
Less than 1%.
It wasn't bad.
If you do something like 99.5%, you decide to play every month.
Okay.
In the south, let's confirm the source. So those ones who are never accredited investment don't count that 1% you're talking about. Don't forget. It's not percent.
What's your picture for?
Sorry.
My assessment, because of the card reader, the PVC, I'll give it 3.
How about you?
To be honest, I'll give it a 5.5. 5.5 because I don't want to give it a 5, which is just average. I would think that we have to do this step, higher, which is from where we used to be candidate. I was still of the opinion that when you're having candidate that still operating in manner of distributed system, if you're going to do all then of course let's have an electronic input system. But that will require a change of our laws and all of that. So yes, I still believe that there's a long way to go, but so far so good. 5.5, that's what I'm giving. Which is good, for me.
I feel that it can't be that like from what Jega made us believe was that February 14 was going to be, that he was ready. And that made it look like the ruling party was trying to buy time and they were using security, Boko Haram and all these excuses that he was ready. And then they gave him 6 extra weeks. And then during the 6 weeks, he was procuring this, training this, doing that, doing this. So that means he was never ready February 14th. And if after 6 weeks he's still having all these issues, then the places where they did this manual accreditation, has it been documented whether there were like electoral malpractices? How many? Like, if you look at it, and then one of the places that there were card readers and all, but the election materials were not enough. Like in Ajawa Estate in Atoni, they had 200, I said it before, 209 accredited, but only 99 ballot sheets. So I think the card reader is nice, is a great idea. Nigeria is moving forward. But when one will tell us that electoral officer does not know how to read and write, was not trained properly, they don't know how to open field, then please, this card reader, I'm sorry, it leaves a lot more to be desired. I think we took a giant step. I think
what would you start? What would you start the process?
3 or 4. Because let me be very, very sincere. Because of the fact that the president considered, people get quiet about issues. But there are issues that cannot be wished away. In 2011, the controversial former MD of the Yambri said that the census has always been rigged in their favor. Go and read history from 19 or something. That was like, it's not possible for a state like Kano to not populated than Lagos. You get to this point, you understand, out of the ABT, sack the guy. I have my issues with the northern folks. Kano. I have people go to me to go to the north that told me it was open ballot. That there are pictures of the where they were tying brooms. But where Buhari's, go and check Buhari's down. Buhari's they were brooms tied. So we have to
how brooms tied.
That is their logo. That is.
Not umbrella.
But because
When it was raining in Lagos, I'm not brought out umbrellas.
no, umbrella is used to protect. What's the broom doing for that? I was coming from there. I was somewhere. We have to know, and people deserve the kind of leaders they get. I won't say more than that, but with the system so far, it's not before I have people I know who are from the north, who work in Lagos, who got policies. People say that people are shouting that how come Baga has 50,000 police collection of Baga in October, and some states in the southwest do not have as much as you understand. For this thing, we let this go. For the future. Now, Buhari has won the entire vote. For the future.
IDPs voted. So they are
No.
to collect your
IDPs
Let's Bonu, Yobe, what's his name? Adamawa, the area, the local area. My gate man got to do it. Was sent to him from the village. He never got there. So for the future, number one, we should have another census.
Yes.
Nobody should tell. Don't say I have them
Please. Okay, can we just have you conclude?
Don't say I have
taking examples. We're taking opinions.
We have now for the process to be improved.
Don't worry, we'll get there. Chidi.
I'll give it considering what's even happening in Lagos. Despite the fact that we should have learned a lot of lessons from the presidential election, I mean, after the presidential election, I'll give it a 6. But now I think it will drop down to a 4.
Okay.
Considering what's happening today.
What's happening in Lagos now?
So let's see Lagos.
From 2 a.m.
People like, no, Lagos, see the pictures, everything.
You can't deny it. You cannot
deny it.
The real voucher of ballot paper seen by who? Because one of the candidates we saw vouchers of ballot paper so completed the APC.
They cannot vote. The same way Tinubu was blasting APC for dropping seats to other parties on Tuesday.
So now then do what it takes to make sure that
no, he said votes. Then why can't the first have to
that's what he said on screen. That's what he said on screen.
You should know what other candidates are saying.
Exactly.
Why is
who has the most structures actually winning?
most structures?
Excuse me.
So many regularities about
Excuse me.
I said fly because this is Nigeria. This is one.
Dion.
This is one. This is one guy. One footballing unit.
That means
How do we know that?
This picture says nothing, but this picture is from Vanguard.
why do you not let him talk?
Holistically, that's what she said.
Yes.
So if we look at it like that, and also comparatively, now if you look at the elections the way they were under Morris Evil, for example, I think this is a timely question, given that Jega will finish his tenure in a few months. Now, if we look at this whole thing holistically and comparatively, looking at what things were like under Morris Evil and all that, if you look at things like it was generally more peaceful than before. And I think that people got more involved. I'm not talking about the election now, but I'm talking about now, for example, the presidential election when they were announcing the results, the level at which people really followed the whole thing. It was unprecedented for me. I can't remember what was the last time.
Social media has improved.
And that's what I'm not saying that Jagam should take credit for this fact. I'm simply saying that holistically, I'm not giving it to Jega. She's always giving us.
You people smart and give explanations. Explain.
If I wanted to give this conference,
Give it him. He said he's not a regular Nigerian.
Okay, you don't like this guy. I'll give it a 6.
How about you?
I'll give it a 7. If people knew the level of rigging that had happened in this country since 1999, prior to much, you'd know the scaled fences with this election. This is about the most credible election we've ever had in Nigeria.
It's not the best, but we've got
yeah, the whole process. We've improved. There are a lot of irregularities, but we did. Yes.
relatives.
How many people died? How many people died nationwide? March 28. No, that's not because you haven't considered. That's not because you haven't considered. Before they considered, how many people died on election day? Do you know how many people used to die on election day before? 2007. You know how many people died in election event? You don't know these soldiers. Are you people against? Listen. This 2007 governorship election in Osun State between Aregbesola and incumbent Olagunsoye Ilola. I know how many people died in Ilesha and Ife and Osogbo because of one single. We were coming from church the Sunday the election results were announced. petrol stations were being burned in Oshogbo. We were almost killed.
Like I said.
And for about 4 days, nobody could go out of their house. So compare that to an Osho State where almost it was so free. Listen, were soldiers not mobilized in 2007?
No, not like now.
Were soldiers not mobilized in 2007? How come they couldn't stop that? The petrol station of the PDP chairman in Osho State was burnt. One of his children was killed. I'm talking about this was what I experienced in Osho State. In 2007, there were soldiers all over the streets. Churches were burned, mosques were burned. Till today, go to YNaija, you see burnt houses. Go to Ife, you see burnt houses. Okay. From 2007, this election happened in my state, March 28th. I haven't heard of anybody that was killed. So for me, that's tremendous improvement.
Okay, thank you very much. Very much. That's his opinion. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and that's why after scoring, everybody gave an explanation why they scored. So I think if everybody is
taking ballot papers to the house to vote alone.
So this is exactly. So thank you.
And it will be the first time it took how many days for Bayelsa results to come out?
Oh, okay. In Kano. You know, we understand.
2011,
for so long. But if you go to the level of underdevelopment is outstanding. I mean, it boggles my mind.
Which part of the north you're talking about?
Excuse me.
This is social media. When you talk about the north, it's not a good part of the land. I went to the north. Where is the north? Isabella, she went to Yobe. Yola. She went to Yola. She didn't go to the north. She went to a state in the north. She didn't go to the north. You're talking about 19 states.
My brother, apart from Kaduna and Abuja is the north. Can you tell me? And can you compare development in Sokoto, in Kebbi, in Yobe, in Gombe, in Katsina, in
have you been to any of these states?
I've been there.
All of them.
I've been there. Wait. See, I've been to Katsina, I've been to Katsina, I've been to Kebbi, I've been to Sokoto, I've been to Gombe, I've been to Yobe. You cannot compare.
Now, you know what I've noticed from the northern Nigeria is because I don't know if it's a cultural problem. I would say it's a cultural problem. Now, the way the north is structured, maybe religious views, I don't know what it is, but there's a class system, and that's how they always operate. They just use people that are actually in the lower class. They do not have any incentive to want to break out from that class. For them, it's like, you know what, this is how I have been, this is how my family members have been, and this is what it is. Yeah. If I am going to, yes, and that's how it always been. If you look at from the time of the colonial masters, that's how it always been. And that's the reason why it was even easier for the British to actually rule the north, because it was easier for people to just stay subjected like that. And that's how it always been. So now, what is happening in the north is not just a problem of the present political class. That's how it has been generations upon generations. So basically, it's for the people that are actually being suppressed. They do not even know that they are being suppressed. That's the funny thing. Then you have the northern airlines, which I always say, and elites, which I say all the time, that they are responsible for when Atiku was going to contest for president. That's one of the things I was doing against me. I was like, what are you talking about? Look at how wealthy you are. Look at how Adamawa State is. You know, you cannot tell me that. And this is just so basically I hold the northern elites responsible for a lot of things that actually happen. Not only the political class. I'm talking about the businessmen. You know, it's the same thing. The northern businessman, instead of him to bring, you know, his people, he will rather bring somebody from the south or even somebody from abroad to come and check out how many people Atiku imported to Adamawa just to run his businesses. You know, for me, I'm like, if you're having all those businesses, even the water, when I was in Adamawa, everything I asked Atiku. To be actually of the bottled water, I'll just ask, sorry, who produces bottled water? Atiku. So you would expect that, you know what, a lot of people in Adamawa state will be employed in that, but it's not like that. There are so many people that are imported into Adamawa based on Atiku's tickets.
I think those people who are imported are actually people who are skilled.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, nothing changes. Yes, but nothing changes you from, nothing stops you from, okay, you know what, I employ you, you have the skills, but also train my people in this particular skills. There's nothing wrong with that. So basically, I do not know, but I'm saying what I saw. Because I'm saying what I saw. I saw a lot of foreigners that were coming into Adamawa to work. And
we all know that with companies, there's a quota for every.
I feel.
For the record, the second highest employer of labor in Adamawa State.
I'm just saying that I feel that the northern elite, my point exactly is that the northern elite, I feel, and this has not to do with politics. I feel that, you know, the northern elite should have done better, and it has nothing to do with politics.
All right, we're going to have to keep to time this almost final segments because yeah, I will go around and ask in 2 minutes each. I'm going to this time really keep to time. Please tell me your projections. We're here now. Where do you expect us to be? We have elections coming up in various states in the next few years and all that. What would you hope that we will be as a country election-wise and holistically, maybe in governments, and your expectations from the different governments as it is? I'm sure we all did somewhere in high school, secondary school, whatever it is, whichever one you went. In 2 minutes, please. I'll start with you.
Okay, you know, for me, sorry, what are the predictions for how many years from now?
Your projections, yes.
Okay, you know what, I feel like
expectations.
My expectations. Okay, you know what, one of the major things that actually played a role is ethnicity. And then I'm one that I'm from, you know, different parts of Nigeria. So I feel like I have relatives from all over. So I feel for me, a major sort of concern is this ethnicity problem. I feel that by the next election, what I want us to do is be able to rise above ethnicity and then start to make decisions based on, you know, credibility and then records of performance. So that's why I just feel that if we can rise above ethnicity, Nigeria as a whole, you know, will move forward and be where we want to be. So for me, that's a very big concern. And yeah, I use less than 2 minutes.
Use less than 1 minute.
I'm telling you now.
Okay, basically, I expect that years from now, we'll be on this note. So our problems are fundamental, not moving around more deep voice rather than the so really our generation will really change, not the change for people around them. I just want to change the generation. And I expect that whoever present rulers will be the same as we do have, but better people who will give everything.
I think, honestly, I think that will make progress. I think that by the next time we go to the we'll have.
Yes, we'll talk about your expectations.
Yes, so I believe that in 2019 we'll be more positive and things will continue to get better. I'm optimistic about that. But I agree with what he said about us being okay. We don't exactly be on the same spot or improve or get better. But definitely not the trend that we anticipate. So definitely not the trend that we vision. And I feel that I thought that this presidential election was overrated. I think we're putting so much hope on the shoulders of this one man. And I also think that maybe there's more to. I just expect us, the young generation, to do more than just think that if we just go home and stand in the sun or stand in queue and we just do the vote, that things are just going to magically change. I expect that young people will get more involved in nation building, and that will really bring the change in the long run.
Are you ready, or should we
Okay. In 4 years, first and foremost, I'm hoping we'll have better candidates coming forward for election. I'm hoping we'll be fought for options and not be considering which one is the less bad option out of the candidates we have. I'm hoping, like it's happening in Lagos, so many other states will have 2 quality candidates come forward and the debates we have it. Also, I'm also hoping the electoral process will be fully digital by then. I'm hoping I will be able to vote from wherever I am, irrespective of where I registered or where I live or whatever. And I'm also hoping that people will be more enlightened, people will be more interested in the political process. I'm hoping the people that are coming in now will face real fire when they are coming up again in 4 years, and they will really be judged based on performance, not how much money they are able to dole out there or how much Congos of rice they are able to give and all that. I'm hoping general Nigeria will be better, if not far better than we have now, would be on the right path, and then we'll be able to vote in better leaders to us to get.
Thank you.
Well, for me,
2 minutes.
I believe we have been scammed. I believe our problem is structural. It's not about our problem is a structural problem, and we're scammed to believe that it's about change. I believe the true change Nigeria ought to have been a structural change. Issue and settlement of our foundational disputes. However, we have elected a leader, like my brother said, the people deserve what they get. So I just believe that the APC manifesto, I'm looking forward to the 100 days. I'm actually looking forward for the there's a vibe in me. I'm so much interested in it. I want to see the stipends of the paid to people that are unemployed. I want to see the food be given out. I want to see the free food. I believe in the next 1 year, 1 to 2 years, the government, I want to see constant electricity, like they are promised. I know pragmatically that they are just kidding. I will give them a scam. I'll give them the benefit of that. It's a scam. But because we have to believe it is, we are gotten here. So I'm really open to that 100 days. And I believe strongly that Nigeria should push more for legal framework. It is very, very important. The FOI, the social welfare and the rest, and then the structural change. Talking about personal reform is very, 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 very important. These are the basic things that Nigeria.
Thank you. Just points. Dave.
Okay. Over the next 4 years, I expect that people can be able to go from wherever they are. I also want to see diaspora voting. That is likely to change the game significantly as well. Diaspora voting, people maybe from wherever they are. I also want to see the process for continuing voter registration to be much easier, preferably online, for those that can make it online. They can make money not to go online as well. I also want to see a stronger framework that continues to ensure INEC's independence, because that's the key thing right now. The key thing is that people are supposed to be able to trust the process. As it stands, the process hinges on whatever credibility Atayeru Jega has. And when he goes, as he's going to go, as he's going to likely in June, then they now have to continue to build up that credibility and continue to maintain it by bringing in somebody with a similar level of credibility who will also not tolerate any instance of electoral malpractice from where he is, to ensure that the levels are free, fair, and credible. And this is what I would like to see in our electoral process over the next 4 years. I think that the incoming federal government can do so.
10 seconds.
And then we see what we go from
All right, thank you very much.
Well, for me, I think I'll start from the party level. What I want to see in our electoral process. I hope to see parties that have developed ideologies that people can really identify and identify them with and hold them responsible to. I hope that people in the next 4 years would not vote based on religious or ethnic sentiments, which we saw to an extent in this present election. I hope that INEC as an organization to become more autonomous, and I hope that we can get somebody that is even better than Jega to push the process forward. In all, I think everybody has said those are the things I would like to say. I would also like to commend INEC for what they've done this year, but I think we can do better. That's it.
Yes, the better voter education from now till the next election, because people think, oh, so many people came out, but when you look at the statistics, less than 20% of the population of this country actually came out to vote. Fair enough, some are not eligible, but it's very low, and today it's also very discouraging. So I think voter education should be something that is ingrained, whether it's at secondary school, primary school, something that it becomes like when you say I pledge to Nigeria, my country. So that's what I hope for. I don't see in the next 4 years us rising above religion and ethnicity. I don't see it happening. I mean, for people like me and more that are Igbo, Yoruba, and in our case Hausa, yes, who are the exceptions, but most people are going to have that allegiance, and I don't think that is going to change. But what I do want to see is that the way Jonathan said, okay, when he came in, he's going to give 30% to women. I want to see that improve, more women, and I want to see more youths. For me, one of the things I didn't like about having Buhari there is that at 70-something years old, is he saying that he will not train anybody to fill his shoes? And that to me is a big issue, that you have to train the next people. Excuse me, I did not interrupt you. Thank you very much. You have a host, I have a too. So I want to see more women, I want to see more youths. And these youths should not just be people you use on social media. Now the elections are won, you send them away, then you bring your northern oligarchy back. So that's what I want to see: youth, women, and more voter education. And maybe in the next 50 years or 100 years, we will really begin to experience that democracy. But and yes, one more thing, they should legislate some kind of electoral law, something that all these people that are always inciting and are doing all these violent acts and shooting people, beheading people, they shouldn't just go on social media and end there. They should use them as scapegoats. That's what was known as putting people in crates and everything. I would like to see that aspect of it, that all these people that are doing rubbish, especially with election, let them sanitize. Yeah, another 4 years or APC comes, I'll believe that it's not because somebody was thumbprinting in the north and showing machete when you want to thumbprint for people. Wow, so that's just all this. I just want to find
everybody has seen all the things that don't see. Just to add, I'm hoping for a better country, hoping for a better electoral process. I'm hoping the decisions will 2 weeks ago, and the one we're taking right now is not going to hurt us later. I believe, I'm hoping everything, the whole system will be better. I'm hoping the electoral process will be very much easier. I mean, I don't think INEC assumes people just live in particular places for 4 years or they don't move. I'm hoping people can vote from whatever locations they are at any given time. You don't have to go back to where they came from. I think there should be a system. You can do all these things. You can get programmers to do all these things, and they will make the process very, very. So from wherever it is you are, first you have a card that you can just like an ATM card. You start to do your thing, and then cast your votes. It will even be easier for the system. If it's not, if banks have been succeeding without it. I think that process can be done as well. If everybody has one vote, I mean, people will reduce, people moving around will reduce. On the election days, you can move around and go about your businesses and then don't get victimized. So I keep on trying to ensure that they really reduce a whole lot because, like I said, I need to deal with previous last week's elections. The election was actually poor. I'll give General its. General on his own. General on his own. I mean, that video. I mean, he stood his ground. He did a whole lot. So I commend him. But then General cannot protect it. General cannot control the whole process. I mean, there's a whole. It's too much. It's too much for one man's hand. So if subsequently all electoral officers are trained in advance and then take a big process, I think the whole process will be better. That's
okay. I was yesterday and I saw an article. I don't know how many people saw it about the youth being the leaders of tomorrow, and we have spoken about it for so long. It's just a discussion that to me I think is never ending. But then the reality is there's still no answer, and it's very sad. Growing up when I was much younger, the leaders of tomorrow. And tomorrow has come. It's still the same names I've been hearing. There's a man in the Senate. When I found out he was in the Senate 4 years ago, so I screamed. And I screamed because I remember hearing his name once my father used to work in the ministry. And he was still there. And that was the 7th attempt. And then I asked myself, are we really the leaders of tomorrow? Even if some people say that the environment has not been provided for us, the question is the few of us who get the opportunity, do we use the opportunities we get very well? And when we do get there, do we actually live above expectations, or just go there and learn everything, and then the older generation will say, we told you, we can never do it? Because if you go back in our history, a lot of our leaders back then started in their late 20s, early 20s. You ask yourself questions. So you see young people in their late 30s, early 20s, right, in certain positions, and you begin to ask, this one is not real. So, in one sentence, do you think that the youth of Nigeria today are actually the leaders that we claim to be?
Can I start?
Yes, please.
I don't know if this is your one sentence. I don't know if I can borrow time.
No, don't borrow time. Don't be a lawyer.
Well,
yes, no, and this is why.
Okay, I would say no. And I would say no because of the impediments that we have. Number one is the constitution. I did not subscribe because I don't know why I have to be 30 before I run certain political office. And then considering the fact that elections actually hold every 4 years. So let's say, for instance, I'm 25 this year, and I want to go into maybe the state house assembly. I can't even, it can't even happen by next elections because I'll be 29. So basically, I have to wait another 8 years. So
in your opinion, do you think we need to look?
Yes, I think we need to look at our electoral laws and see how we can encourage or take out, this age requirements. Of course, I understand that yes, people have to attain a bit of maturity and all of that, but I feel that the age requirement is too high. I think we have to bring it down if we want to actually bring youth into political participation.
Well, I want to be president very soon. When he said the last week, it's 45. I mean, that's before the. That is very unsettling. And if I die, and that guy got president, I will not forgive the system.
Thank you.
No,
thank you.
So, as I said,
if you down,
records.
I mean, if I die, I will
your record.
So like, I feel the system is very okay. That is short. Actually, why do I have to be 40 before I become president? Let us be 25, 30.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's think outside the box. And let's just think beyond this whole election thing. As I said before, it's not just about, there's more to nation building than just doing like this. I mean, there's more to that. So I'm going to say that I'm afraid that we don't have the makings. We don't, that my generation, this generation, we just don't have the makings. We haven't been raised to change things. That's not how we were raised. And from what we all see on social media and all these things, it is clear to anyone who would see that we just don't have the makings to do. Unfortunately, maybe we have this chance and we just blew it. And maybe we could raise our own children or the people coming behind us, we could raise them better. And maybe they can be the turning point generation. But for my generation, I do not think that we can make that happen.
Yes.
Well, like you said, nation building elections, young people. Because of how critical Buhari's intervention is in the course of our nation, I think 2019 would be a more realistic time. For young people to really come and positions. For now, I think we are doing so much of panel beating for young, because leadership also comes with experience. You just don't want to put in young people for putting in young people's sake. So young people are beginning to influence the system, and I think 2019 I expect to see so very many of my friends who are have potentials. So come.
Thank you. Do you believe we are that generation that's we have been told to?
This is exposure in the political framework. I think our generation has been nothing short of disappointment.
I completely agree.
And worse than the leaders will come there.
Absolutely.
Some of us have been tried and refused. But beyond that, also we have might not be much, but that is the percentage of what they are promising. I think it's important that those who are promising, unfortunately, are not so interested in politics. And these individuals have to understand that for Nigeria to be the Nigeria of our dream, they have to be involved in making Nigeria better than problems. Inflation area needs to be in their midst to public admin. And it's really important they get. So, based on that, I think our nation has failed. But if we are able to, capture the few words that still are place of home, like can build a better generation. Even not even our child, also even our child self, our children self, our kids also. They are failed.
All right, thank you.
There are many more ways to be part of the political process rather than just watching and giving it. There are opportunities, for example, to join a civil society organization that aligns with causes that you're interested in. You can also have, you can also lobby lawmakers to pass any kind of stuff.
But I will be in that generation.
I think so. And I think that there are people that are already doing things in that regard. And the more people who join them and become part of the process, the better.
You see, I really don't share the sentiments of what most people, the social sentiments most of us have expressed today. I believe that yes, we are that generation. What are we talking about? I believe that yes, we are that generation. We are going to make our mistakes, but definitely from the way we started and on the trajectory that we are aligning with you understand? I think we are not going to leave it for our children the way our parents left it for us. That's definitely clear.
All right, Isabella. No.
And I think our youth and young generation don't feel that, like you said, it's not about political office. I have no problem with 30 years old, 35, 40 years old, because there are so many ways to influence the political sphere without being elected. I mean, someone like Dangote is very I feel beyond just being into power, if you really develop the more electoral structures from civil organizations, things like enough is enough, to even voter education. How many people sit down and teach their children that this is why you vote, this is why I vote, this is the right thing to do in history, government, social studies. So I feel that no, we're not there yet.
I think with that generation, there's so many things with my generation as champion. For example, this change that has happened in how many years? We championed it. We championed this change, and I think we're going to do a whole lot. Our generation, we're going to teach our children that the importance of voting. Our parents did not teach us that, we learned it on our own. So if any generation fails, it's the generation of our predecessors that failed, because they allowed during the common times, if the young people who led our generation, they allowed people now trying to take it back. It's not going to be an easy process. It's now our children who we are setting the pace for them. So we are not failed.
Thank you very much, each and every person that has contributed. I thank you for joining in as well, for those of you watching us online. And for my father. Cheating. Bukola Oyemi, Waladale Adekoya, Joaquin Ebong, Bishop and Isabella Akishe. Thank you so much for being a part. Remember that we are a reflection of the leaders that it is that we have. So always have that in mind. And my name is Abdenike Oyetinde. YNaija has brought this to you. Situation Room 2015 Gubernatorial and State House of Assembly elections. Have a wonderful week. Bye.
I like it.
Some people would have. No, you have it on record. No, my mouth is on record. Well,
exactly. I am? Yes. Really?